The Divine Comedy Sculpture Project has been a journey of hope, and it has been a very prayerful year creating these pieces. And to finally finish the last canto here in Florence, where Dante prayed, is like an artistic hand reaching out throughout the centuries. I feel that there's such an amazing hunger and need for Dante in the world today. Art can be used as a doorway, a passageway that will welcome people to Dante. Dante will welcome them to God. And to think of this gift that he gave the world, the hope, the structure. Even in hell, you feel great because there is that structure. And I think for centuries, it has been that useful tool. It sneaks up on you. You start in hell. You start midway in life, lost in a dark forest, but you slowly find your way out. It's like so many lives out there that are lost. Let Dante lead them. He goes unnoticed in so many circles, right outside the door here. I look outside here on the streets of Florence. It kind of saddens me seeing, I think, the same things that Dante criticized about Florence 700 years ago: materialism, commercialism. Here we are visiting such an amazing city, and I think what we need to do is to evangelize softly, in a sense. It's a comedy. There's hope. There is the end of the trail. To me, it's a whole experience of little miracles that created this piece. Each canto was in its own an individual art piece to celebrate God. And there were so many wonderful moments working, eureka moments where I was a tool for the design of Dante. The sculpture just determined itself. To be the first person in 700 years to sculpt every single canto, 100 sculptures, it's needed today. Dante wrote the Divine Comedy not in Latin, but in the vulgar, the common Italian, so it could be accessible to as many people as possible. It's that hand reaching out through centuries, a welcoming hand, and a hand that will instruct you to a better, more spiritual life and a spiritual understanding. St. Francis said, preach everywhere you go, and if necessary, even use words. With the Divine Comedy sculpture garden, I think that what it will do is it will slowly bring people into a world that they're not necessarily familiar with. Visual artwork doesn't ask much from you. You walk the Dante gardens and you start to learn. It will give you as much as you want to take. And with that, you'll have a taste of eternity, I believe. When I worked on the Divine Comedy too, I was oftentimes amazed how relevant it is today. As I'm sculpting throughout a global pandemic where we're all in exile, I think about what Pope Francis said. He says that you can either get through the pandemic a better or a worse person. Interesting that in exile, Dante wrote the Divine Comedy. It's a very prayerful ritual for me. When I create a canto, I end it with a cross being carved in one final prayer. As a Christian artist, it's the well that is unending. To have the courage to drink from that well, to actually use that as your principal material, is, I think, one of the most beautiful things you can do. I've been so angry for more than 2 decades about the emphasis on the Inferno with the Divine Comedy. Well, I did my part the best I could. I think that it's going to give people an experience that is perhaps unexpected, but very peaceful, and I think could inspire them to learn more about Dante and in turn learn more about spirituality. That's the grand hope.